Problem now, of course, is to simply hold your horses. To rush would be a crime. 'Cause nice and easy does it. Nice and easy does it. Nice and easy does it every time.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Maristel once again, and welcome to another episode of Spotlight Stories. It is Thursday, December 19th, 2 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. By the way, if you're watching me for the first time, I am originally from Cebu, Philippines, and now living in the U.S. here in Illinois for 20 years now. And Spotlight Stories, by the way, is a product of 90 Day Success Challenge. Before the challenge, I was so scared to go live, and after that, I got more confident in speaking in public, and so I started interviewing business partners, my friends, and one day I woke up and I gave it a title, Spotlight Stories. So today, I am super honored to present to you and share to you um, another top leader in our global community. And without further ado, please, please, please help me welcome Deborah McClanagan, all the way from Mexico. Welcome, welcome, and good afternoon.
Hi, Marcel.
How are you, Deborah? I can see your background.
Thank you. This is actually it's a picture I took of just down at the beach I go to.
Oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
Deborah, our viewers, actually, my team, the influencers under Coach Lynn Bayan, has been waiting for this day because I told them that, oh, December 19th is the date. You got to clear that date because I will have Deborah on Spotlight Story. So, could you please tell us a little bit of your background?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I'm a child of God. I'm a mother of 6, a grandmother of 19, and a great grandmother of 11. And I'm a successful online business owner. But as you know, that wasn't always the case with me, right? So I am an accountant by trade. I started this online business on February 9th, 2017, and I've never looked back. But when I found this business, I really wasn't looking for an online business. I was just looking for a job because my position of many years was eliminated when I was 60 years old. And then we had life happen in the family a few years prior to that. So, it took all our savings, all my investments, all my retirement plans. So it was like I was starting over, 2 years prior to my job, my position being eliminated. And then I thought, well, I'll get a job because I'm really good at what I do. I love what I do. I know the people that I'll be applying work for, with. I'll have no problem getting a job. But the company gave me a very, very good severance package. So I thought, I'm taking a year off work because, I never had time off work. Grow
Yes.
6 kids and trying to keep them in sports and make sure they have what they need and working. And it was just really, you didn't take time off. And you didn't have money to go on vacations, when you're raising your family. You just, you do good to keep them in the clothes and the sports things they need and, their school supplies and things. So I thought I'll take a year off work, because when I had babies, you had a baby on Friday and back to work on Monday. There was no maternity leaves, right?
No,
None.
no.
So anyways, that's what I did. I took a year off work. I paid off some of the bills that, were smaller bills that totaled, a lot in payments. And then I came back after the year and decided to, I'm going to go put my resume out there and I'll get a job, no problem.
Mhm.
Well, I get lots of interviews and I talked to them and I think they felt that because they knew me, they needed to interview me. I don't know what it was, but every one of them said to me, "How long do you plan on staying in the workforce?" You know, and like I was over 60, so it was like, "Oh, yeah, I get it. I understand." Like, I know you want somebody in your company that's going to give you 20 to 40 years service
Mhm.
because training somebody is very expensive.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter how much experience you have, every company has their own way of doing things. So I understood that, but it didn't help me any. I thought I'm going to have to start looking for something, maybe I'll have to be a Walmart greeter or something. I don't know, but also those companies didn't want to pay me the wage that I had been making prior to my position being gone, my position of many years. So, I was very well paid. So, anyways, I thought, I know people that work online, they don't make a lot of money, but they work online for a job, like, not a business, a job. But I got looking and searching and I prayed, Lord, just bring me to something that I can do for the rest of my life, that I can sustain my lifestyle and I can help others, just find something like that. That's all I'm asking. $5,000 a month. That's all I'm asking for. Nothing major, just enough that I can pay everything and still travel some and buy gifts. And so, anyways, I looked and 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 looked. And um, finally, it was like the Lord said, I'm giving this to you because this ad kept going
Mhm.
across the screen. Everywhere I look, cross the screen, cross the screen. And I'm thinking, I've seen so many of these get rich quick schemes that I don't want to look at another one because I look at some of them and I think, really, people, you really fall for this thing and this and that. So, anyways, I finally clicked on the link and I watched that 90-minute webinar. And I knew the minute I looked at it, it would work. I had no idea how it was going to work because I didn't know how to put a picture on Facebook. I had Facebook because my kids made it for me, only because I was living on, the west coast of Canada and I had children and grandchildren on the east coast. So they felt that I needed something to be able to keep in contact. So, anyways, I had the Facebook, but I didn't know how I was going to do this business or how long it was going to take because I knew I had a learning curve of, social media platforms because they talked a lot about social media platforms. But thank God I had a 12-year-old grandson that loved his old grandma so much. He helped
Oh,
me do pictures on. And, one time I said to him, oh my gosh, maybe I'm just too old and stupid to do this. He said, Grandma, you always told me that I can do whatever I want or I can be whatever I want to be. I just have to put my mind to it. He said, now I'm telling you, you can do this. This is my 12-year-old grandson. So I thank him too every day. Thank you, Taste, for, keeping me on track and keeping me because, it doesn't matter how old you are. It
yes.
doesn't matter, like, what your education level is, because, I had a high education and it didn't help me when it came to, doing my business because I had to learn what I needed to know to make this happen. And the great thing about it is it's all video based training. So I could read very well and I knew how to turn on a video. So that was my training. And I thank God every day that I found this business, that He brought me to this business, because I have seen so many people's lives changed, so many families that struggled. And I mean, to hear some of their stories and the struggles they went through and to, become successful in this business is just, it's just amazing. And Maristella, it's for everybody. It
It
doesn't
is.
matter. It's for everybody.
Wow. Thank you so much, Deborah. See, we are only in our first few minutes and you are already inspiring us, our viewers. But anyway, I wanted to ask you, aside from not very tech savvy. Has it been an easy or smooth transition for you from working in the office to doing it online?
It was different, but because when I worked online, I worked on a computer, 14 hours a day, but it was all, business programs and database programs and, things like that. So it was a different type of working online, but the transition, no, I wanted this business so bad. I wanted this
Oh,
business
wow.
before it happened, before I actually, got it up and running, that I was willing to do what I had to do to make it happen because I knew I was brought to this business for a reason. And and I knew that I had to do my due diligence. I had to do my training. I had to
Mhm.
get set up and I had to learn how to work an online business. It wasn't difficult. It was different. It was out of the norm. It was
Yeah.
out of my comfort zone
Mhm.
because I grew up old school. I mean, I learned to type on the typewriters that you had to have muscles and you swung it across and you fed the paper into it. There was no computers when I learned how to do all these things. So it was quite different than what I was ever in the norm to learn how to do. And in my generation,
Mhm.
you're taught, you go to school, you get a good education, you get a good job, you marry a rich man, like, you know, well,
Oh,
those things don't always happen, right?
yes. Oh,
So
that was funny. But how come it's online business that you picked? You didn't think about having a traditional business like buy and sell of something or
uh,
clothing or something like that, jewelry.
no, 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 no. I'm not a seller. Someone would say to me, I just can't do that right now because, I just don't have the money. Then I'd say, that's okay. I understand. I can't sell. I'm not a seller. So I needed something that could help people, not to sell things. I
Mhm.
want to work with people that I can get along with, people that remind me of me, people that have the drive that I have, people that want something different out of life. When you sell things in those traditional businesses, you sell, 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 sell every day. You stockpile product. Like, it's takes forever to ever show a profit. I'm an accountant. I did income taxes of businesses, multi-million dollar businesses, mom
Wow.
and papa businesses, a lot of MLM businesses. And these MLM businesses that you have to have sell products, people never made any money ever because they put all their money into the product so they could keep going. Or if they needed to reach another level, they bought their own product,
Yeah,
right? They had a house full of this stuff and,
correct.
it would be outdated before they ever used it. So, no, I had no interest in doing anything like that.
That's why I was so impressed when you said that when you sat on that coaching call, you understand the figures already because you are yourself an accountant by trade.
Exactly. Oh,
Wow.
I understood the figures and I knew there was big money to be made in this business, but I knew I had to learn it from the
Mhm.
beginning and do it right from the start. Like, a lot of people try to get into doing different businesses and not just ours, but other businesses, but they're so gun ho to get up and running and try to make money so quickly, they don't get set up properly. And then that puts them backwards. So I'm one of these people that I like to do things correct from the start.
Yeah.
I got to do it with me.
Oh, how about the baby, the fur baby?
Yeah.
But anyway, I know that we normally ask this question. So, when you were introduced to this business, how about the family? You didn't have to consult them, or did somebody tell you that, oh, no, no, Deborah, don't do that because this and that?
Oh, I did it anyways. But, a lot of people, they say, oh, you don't want to do that. You'll go get a job. Like, you can work here, you can work there. No, 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 no. Where I'm from gets minus 52 Celsius in the winter months.
Wow.
And it's very cold. And I mean, very cold. So I thought if I'm going to work for a less amount of money, that's what my thought was in the beginning, then I'm going to work from home. I'm not going to be going out in that cold and running my vehicle for an hour before I can go out and get into it to go to work, because it's so cold, you freeze if you don't, and I thought, I'm not going to do that. I'll work from home. But um, I'm so glad I did. Like,
Yes.
I'm so happy that I made that decision that day to click on that link and to check it out. Whether I was going to do it or not, I'm still so happy I made that decision to check that link out, because I'm telling you, I know I became a webinar stalker. I don't know if you know this or not, but I watched that webinar the first time in December of 2016.
Mhm.
And I didn't become a business owner until February 9th, 2017. But I never missed. We have the live webinars, information sessions twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays in Canada and the US. And I never missed one from December 16th to February 9th, not one. And I mean, I was going through treatments at the time,
Oh,
when I started this too. So I would be sitting in doing treatments and watching it on my phone. I never missed watching that information system. So when I was ready to get started, I was ready. I mean, I was ready. I knew I could have done that webinar all by myself by the time I got started. I watched it. So
did you also do some? Did you also guest in that webinar?
yes.
Wow,
I was a guest on the webinar many, many, many times.
many times. Wow.
Yeah.
So I could tell that you have a great positive mindset, and on this business we all know that it's all in the mind.
It is. It truly is. I wake up every morning. I start my day every morning and I put my feet on the floor and I say, thank you, Lord, for giving me another day. Who can I be a blessing to today? Because when I took the focus off of me, I, my business went boop, skyrocketed.
Wow.
Right. So it is your mindset. Like, if you believe in your heart, well, this isn't going to work. And if you're saying all the time, this isn't working, then it's not going to work, because what we have in our heart comes out our mouth, and
Yeah.
what comes out our mouth is what we bring about for ourselves. So I'm a very strong person of believing, don't ever talk negative about yourself, or don't ever say anything negative about your own business, because
Correct.
this is a business that works,
Yes.
but people have to be willing to learn it
Mhm.
and apply what they learn to make it happen, right?
Yes.
And because we have a proven system that works, that's why our training is set up the way it is. And I mean, we all made mistakes. I've been in the business for quite a while, and yeah, we've made a lot of mistakes, but we've learned from our mistakes. And that's why now the training, says don't do this, because we already did it and it didn't work. So,
Yes.
we've paved the way and made it a lot smoother for the people joining today. So that's awesome too.
Yes. And in one of your past interviews, because I stalked you too.
I'm a stalker too. So, I
So
think
one of your past interviews, there was a question, and your answer was, there are two types of people: those people who are scared of failure, and there are also types of people who are scared of success. I was kind of like, that's interesting. Could you
that,
please explain?
well, everybody's afraid of failure.
Mhm.
That's just human nature. We're afraid of failure. But when people get a little bit close to success because they've never been successful, or they've got the mindset that successful people aren't well liked, or it's a sin to be successful, or
Mm.
the things that people think is just crazy, right? Some of
Yeah.
the things they think. And like, I've had this discussion many times, like, people will say to me, well, we're not supposed to, have a lot of money because, it could be a sin. Well, no, the
Mm.
Bible tells us every day that we're to prosper.
Mhm.
It's what we do with our money that's evil. So people are afraid of success because they're afraid that they don't know what they're going to do with their money. And, if everybody would just start living by faith, give some faith into themselves, give a little bit of faith to their business, give little bit of faith to the people they work with and what they're doing, and start living by faith instead of being afraid all the time. I was afraid of everything, and I had to get over that. But you need to know what you're going to do with your money when you get an overabundance of money.
Yeah.
You need to be prepared, because this is a type of business that happens, like when it may take some time for it to actually happen, but when it happens, you can't stop it. Now, what are you going to do? Are you prepared? Are you prepared? Are you prepared to pay it forward? Are you prepared to, help? There's so many people in the world. And that's one of the reasons I like Mexico. Mexico has so many people here that need help.
Mhm.
They're the hardest working people I've ever seen. You don't see in Canada and the United States them out with a pickaxe tearing up the road, to put it back together again. You would never see a man out there with a pickaxe doing that. And these people work in this heat doing that every day.
Mhm.
They're the hardest workers I've ever seen, right? And they work so hard, but they work for so little.
Yeah.
Their money is so little. And then there's families here that just can't get work, because if you don't have a school education and you don't have your tourism, you can't get a job. You have to have an education here to get a job, or you can't get a job. And there's many families like that, because there's also, I know I get off on this, but this is a passion of mine. There's so many kids here that can't go to school because the parents don't have their birth certificates. And if you can't get a child's birth certificate, you can't register them even in the government to know they even exist, let alone put them in school. And then for the families that do have birth certificates, if they don't have the money, they can't put their children in school, because they have to buy uniforms. They have to pay to go to school here, right? I mean, it's not a lot for us,
Mhm.
but it's a lot for them. So that's one of my goals is, I have a few families I help out with food and with school for the children. And I also work with a community that is aging with dignity, whereas in Mayan village, where the elderly, there's no government funding here for elderly people.
Mhm.
And just go off into the bush and die.
Oh, wow.
I know. It was unbelievable, because if they don't have children to look after them, because here families look after each other, but if they don't have families, they're on their own.
Yeah.
Right. So 2 years ago, a lady found this little village in the bush, how she found it. And they were all just living under tarps. And, there's a lot today still living under tarps. But,
Mhm.
We had that meet up here in Mexico with our business group in November. And we raised enough money through our business group to build a home for a man, 87-year-old man that had never lived in a home other than a tarp. And he
Wow.
spent his first night, Monday night, in his new home.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, that's why when you said, are you ready to pay it forward? I am ready, Deborah. I
Yeah.
am ready, but I'm still working on my business. I am on my third year in April, and
Mhm.
just like you, I became a business owner, official business owner within a week. I didn't think about it for too long. When I saw the webinar, I went on for a coaching call, and after a few days, I became a business owner, and I never looked back.
And
So I
that
love it.
and you're going to be so successful, and you're going to help. Look at all the people. I believe, we're the people that right now, because we have this business, we're sitting holding that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I honestly believe we found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and we're just holding it, waiting for people to come in and pull out their share. There
Yeah.
is so much, because rainbows go worldwide, just like
Yes.
our business goes worldwide. And that pot of gold is there for everybody. It goes
Oh,
to infinity. It never ends,
I
right?
love your analogy. Rainbows go worldwide, which is true.
Yes, they
It is
do.
the same rainbow that that other people see in the other side of the world. In
Exactly.
Mexico, in Guam,
Yes,
Hawaii, Africa,
everywhere.
it's the same rainbow. That's very
Yeah.
nice. I
Yeah.
love that. Wow.
So, yeah. So we just have, so when I have, a new person come in and join into my business group, it's like, they're coming in and it's like family finally coming home. And that's how I treat them. From the first time I meet them, they're like my family that I haven't seen in a long time, and they finally come home. Now we can work together and see what we can do to help each other out.
Wow. That's why you said also in one of your interviews that what do you like about the business? It's the people.
Oh, the
It is the
people.
people.
It
Because
is.
we are a people business.
Yes, yes, we are. We're a people business. And everybody, I hear some of the stories, and I used to, speak on the webinars a lot. And somebody would be talking, that I had never met before me, and I would be crying so hard when I get started my story. It's like, how do I ever follow someone that has had that much difficulty in their life? And now look at them.
Mhm.
Look at them now, you know? Just amazing. It
I
just
know.
blows me away that so many people, and the only way to fail in this business is to quit.
Correct.
It's the only way to fail. So,
Yeah.
and why would anybody ever, ever want to quit? I tell people, if you need to take a break, this is your own business.
Mhm.
Take a break, step back, you know, because this works when you're sleeping, right?
Correct.
Take
Yes.
a break, do what you need to do. But it's up to you if you're going to make it successful or not. Like, I can't make you successful and you can't make me successful. I'm the only one that can make me successful.
Yes.
But we have to be willing to step out of our comfort zone and ask questions, because a lot of people don't like asking questions, right? And I tell people, don't be afraid to ask the question. And I tell my group, if I giggle when you ask the question, that's because I know the answer, because I asked the exact same one, right?
Yes.
So, and if I don't know the answer to a question, I say, I'm sorry, I don't know, but guess what? I'll find out for you.
Yes.
I'll find the answer.
And
You know,
I'm so glad that I wasn't scared to ask you for an interview.
well, that's good, because really, I don't bite. And I love talking about this business. It's a passion. It's my passion in life, you know?
Yeah.
I if it's doing good for somebody, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. But I want to ask this. Oh, well, the title of this episode is Timeless Triumphs: Why Success Has No Age Limit.
Because you can do whatever you want at any age you are. And most people at my age, I'm 68 years old, and most people at my age are retired and sitting back in a rocking chair waiting to die. Well, I
Oh,
said,
that's
I
nice.
bought myself a nice, comfortable rocking chair, but I'm sitting there just contemplating life, what I'm going to do next to live longer. So, I have no intentions of sitting back. I'm still active. I go places with people, and the young people are saying to me, "Oh my gosh, I can't keep up to you. Where do you get your energy?"
Yeah.
But it's a mindset. I could sit and feel sorry for myself and grow old and do nothing, right? Or I can try to make a difference in life, in other people's lives.
Yes. I actually, right this minute, you have inspired so many and will inspire more as they watch the replay of this webinar. And I really, really appreciate you for that.
Okay.
So, Deborah, I know that you must be busy because you're still doing your coaching calls, correct?
Oh,
Like
yes.
from time to time.
Love to my
Wow, that's
calls.
amazing.
Yeah.
Um, what can you tell those people that are still sitting on the fence for like 1 year, 2 years, and I don't know what to do? I
You
mean, we
know,
try to like share with them. This is offered to everybody of above 18 years old, but still,
we have people 26 years old retired doing this business, making 100,000 plus a month. Like, it's crazy. Why everybody just doesn't try it, right? That's all they got to do. They're nothing to lose, right? So there absolutely nothing to lose to do this business. But one of the things I say to people sitting on the fence is, the only thing you're going to do sitting on the fence is get splinters, because you're going nowhere. Nowhere. Fences don't move. They're stationary. They sit there. You'll never move forward. It's like turning the TV on to a channel and the channel not working and turning it back to it and turning it back to it, thinking you're going to get a different result every time you turn that. But that's not happening because that's not working. And if we don't turn on our light switch in our own self to say, I need to do something, I need to be the light of my own life. And if I can't do something to improve myself, like, I need to take a look at my life. I need to sit down and take a look at what's going on in my life. Why do I need to, people don't look at their whys. People leave their dreams behind.
Mhm.
I had a childhood dream, and I don't know, I guess because, I met Mexican people when I was a child, and I
Mhm.
always wanted to live in Mexico,
Wow.
child, right? And, I could have walked away from that hot childhood dream and
Mhm.
never made it happen, right? But that's what happens to people. They get dreams in their life and they get afraid. So they sit on the fence and they do nothing.
And
They
forget about the dream.
and their dreams start going away. And
Mhm.
then they start saying, "Oh, but they can do it, but I can't." Well, that's not true. You
Mhm.
can do it. Just like my 12-year-old grandson said to me, "You can do whatever you want to do. You can be whatever you want to be. You just have to put your mind to it and want it. You just have to want it bad enough." But sitting on the fence and watching everybody is, especially people that's been sitting there 2, 3 years.
Mhm.
You could have been where I am today if you had started when you started in 2 to 3 years ago. But guess what? You can start today and be where I am shortly, and you can go way past me. Many people have come into my business and has gone way past me, and I love that. And that's the great thing about this business. I have people in my business that's making more money than I am.
Mhm.
That's awesome. I think that's awesome, right?
That only speaks that our business is not MLM, not
Right.
a pyramid. That's what, some other people say. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I have people that's in my business that's making more money than I am, and I think it is wonderful.
Mhm.
It's great,
And we have a very amazing global community. I love it so
very
much.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are now in Mexico and from time to time just visit Canada. Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
wow.
My
That
last
that
visit was
childhood dream.
months. It is. Last visit was for 3 months. But
Mhm.
I have my home here. My kids want to come visit. They have a
Mhm.
place to stay. The grandchildren, I've had my sisters here, my nephews and nieces. I've had lots of them come. And for families that, um, it makes it great for them to be able to come. Sure, the all inclusive is a something everybody should experience at least once in their life, right?
Mhm.
But they're not seeing the real Mexico going to an all-inclusive resort. So, I,
Wow.
yeah, you got to see the real country. If you're going to live in a country, you need to be able to socialize with the people. You need
Mhm.
to be able to, live amongst them and respect their culture,
Yeah.
respect the way of life.
So you're good in Spanish now.
No,
Hola.
actually, I teach English to children just to help out with them because the children here that want to go to English immersion, in order for them to get into English immersion, they have to speak fluent English
Mhm.
before they can get into the school. So I work with children every Saturday
Wow.
to help them speak English. And I am so proud of the kids I've helped. Two of them are already in the English immersion program, but they still come every Saturday because they like to come, and I make it fun for them. We don't always sit inside. We go for walks. We go to the swimming pool, but there's no Spanish allowed. So that makes it difficult for me to learn Spanish. I hablo español, pero necesito practico mucho más.
Oh,
So
that's a lot.
little bit, right? But I have to practice. I need to practice more and more. So someday I'll be fluent, but
You have a heart of gold. That's why you are so blessed yourself too.
well, thank you.
Anyway, I always ask this to my guests. If you were maybe 85 or 90 years old, what would you tell the younger generation or the one in front of
Oh
you that's
gosh. Even at my age now, I tell the younger generation, what are you waiting for? My goodness. Like this is an opportunity of a lifetime. And the thing of it is, if I knew when I was 20 years old or 25 years old or 30 years old or whatever, if I knew then what I know now, I would never have struggled all those years. My kids wouldn't have grown up, having to go without things because we just didn't have the money to buy stuff, right?
Yes.
Like, we lived in an old house, because it was more important to keep the kids with what they had than
Mhm.
to be able to put the money towards getting a newer home. Like it was just, you know, I wish that, I had
Mhm.
known then. So people today, like, don't struggle if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Setting up a business takes time. It takes time and effort and it takes dedication. So, get started, because it's not get rich quick. This is a very legit business. It's not get rich quick, but man, when you build your business and the amount of people you're going to help in the process of building your business, and I tell people that have children, get your kids to help you. There's nothing any better. My grandson used to help me, do my ads, and he would get on there at 4 years old and say, watch my grandma's webinar. Like,
Oh, that's so
it was
cute. Yeah.
good. People love this, seeing that. So, get the kids involved, make it a family business.
Wow. That's
Yeah, make it a
amazing.
family business. Get
Correct.
kids involved.
Yes. Anyway, before we go, let us acknowledge our viewers because they're so happy to see you on stage, Deborah. First is Minda. She's watching from Canada.
Oh, hi, Minda. We're in Canada.
Yeah. And another one from Middle Earth,
Oh, where's that? Where's
New Zealand. New Zealand.
Okay.
So I don't know why it's called Middle Earth,
I've
but
never
maybe she
heard
will
that.
answer us later on. And then we will get our pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yes, we will, Ling.
Yeah,
Yes, we
yeah.
will.
She's from California. And Gay, she's from Texas. She says hello, Mary Luz. Rhoda, another one from California. And Genevieve.
Hey,
Uh, Ying.
from Toronto.
Yeah, Yang from Toronto. Yes.
Yeah, I have
And
a son.
another one from California.
Yeah,
So,
awesome.
and Beth, that's a very inspiring story, Deborah. Thank you for sharing.
You're
And
wel-
Tina is from Ohio.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Hi, Tina.
I look forward to meeting you in person. I hope to see you in person one day, maybe in Chula Vista,
In Chula Vista, maybe in San Diego in June.
right? So maybe I will be like, oh, that's Deborah. I'm going to get closer to her and say, hey, Deborah,
Well,
this
you
is
make sure you
Maristel.
do. You come up so I can give you a nice hug, nice tight hug, and
Yes, thank
we
you so
can get
much.
our pictures taken together.
Correct, because when I messaged you on Flock, I was like, I was thinking like, who shall I message next? Oh, Deborah. And then I looked for your name, and then here she is, and I was like, shall I message her? And then I said
Yeah.
politely, hello,
Don't
Deborah.
ever be afraid to reach out. Don't
Thank you.
ever be afraid to reach out to anybody in this community. All they can say is no, or they don't have time, or
Yes,
whatever,
yes.
right?
hmm
But very few is going to say no, anyways.
Yeah, they said they love to meet you too because there's a lot of us already who registered for
And
the.
go in June.
Yes, we will see you in June. All
Yes.
right, Deborah, thank you, and have a blessed Christmas.
Yes. Merry
And
Christmas to everyone and a happy and prosperous 2025.
yes, and cheers to 2025 and healthy New
Yes.
Year,
Yes.
healthier New Year.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, everybody, and thank you for supporting Spotlight Stories. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Really can't
But baby, it's
stay.
cold outside.
I've gotta go
But baby,
away.
it's cold outside.
This evening has been
Help me that you
so
drop in.
very nice.
I'll hold your hands. They're just like
My mother
ice.
will start to